Coming to you live, it's San Miguel TalkStory, a bilingual podcast presented by the San Miguel Storytellers and the San Miguel Literary Sala.
Eduardo fell in love with San Miguel de Allende, and for the past 7 years, he is proud to call San Miguel his home. Speaking of homes, after completing his degree, he became a local real estate agent at Reality San Miguel. He has published several articles in the local bilingual newspaper and performed at theater productions. Eduardo Mora.
Good afternoon. I come from Picacho, a small village here in Guanajuato, where all the boys have this one goal in common: to be old enough to cross the border to the US. But not me. When I was a little kid, not older than 7, I told my uncles I wanted to have a university degree. They laughed at me. They told me that was only for rich people. Poor people like myself had to go to El Norte and work hard to provide for our families. I felt stupid for wanting something out of my reach. Yet, I was not ready to admit defeat. I was going to prove them wrong. The years passed, and we never spoke about it again. I just concentrated on getting good grades in primary school and secondary school, which is free. But to go to high school, I had to pay for tuition and books. And since my small community didn't have a high school, I had to move to a larger town, which meant I also had to find a place to stay. You see, my father was a construction worker, and I have more siblings, so his salary was not enough. If I wanted an education, I had to finance it myself. So I started working in the construction industry with my dad. But after a year, I realized that I was never going to be able to save enough money to pay for school. So I had to swallow my ego. I had to accept that I was no different than the rest of the boys from my village. I crossed the border to the US as an illegal alien. I moved to Texas with some relatives who found a part-time job for me as a gardener, so I went to school in the morning and worked afterwards. In high school, I got very good grades, so I was able to get plenty of scholarships to pay for my college tuition. Plus, I had saved all my money from my after-school and my weekend jobs. And on my graduation day, people from the Hispanic community and people that I had worked for gave me enough donations. So not only did I have money for tuition and books, but I also had money for room and board, nice clothes, nice restaurants, whatnot. I was accomplishing my dream. I was attending Angelo State University in San Angelo, Texas, a city of about 100,000 people. Life was perfect. I had friends from Russia, Germany, Africa, all over the world. Life was so perfect indeed. It almost felt like a fairy tale. And I know it might seem like a cliche when I say this, but when I thought it was impossible for life to get any better, I met the love of my life. This would have made for a great telenovela, except that there were a few problems with that. To begin with, the love of my life is a man who happened to be a politician. He was serving his 3rd term as a mayor of San Angelo, Texas, and a week before had just been reelected for a 4th term. And let's don't forget a very important element of the story. I was there illegally. One of the reasons that I fell in love with him is because he is the only ethical politician that I know. So when he found out about my legal status, he broke up with me. That day I cried so much. I felt rejected. I felt angry. I felt betrayed. He said he loved me, yet he was breaking my heart, making me feel guilty, making me feel like a criminal. The day before the swearing-in ceremony, he came to my apartment to talk about us. He told me that as a public official, he could not be with me, knowing that I was there breaking the law. But he also told me that he loved me, and that if I wanted to be with him, he was willing to give up his political career and move to Mexico with me. So I was faced with one of the most difficult decisions in my life. On one hand, I had my education, which up to that point was the most important goal in my life. But on the other hand, I had this amazing man who was willing to give up everything to be with me. The following day, May the 19th of 2009, the day that he was supposed to be sworn in, holding hands, we drove to Mexico, leaving behind old dreams in order to build new ones together.
The San Miguel Storytellers is a non-profit organization intent on bringing back the oral tradition of storytelling to San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. If you would like to make a donation, volunteer, or get more information, visit sanmiguelstorytellers.com.